Hello students. We are going to go back to the writing lesson that we started yesterday. Now we had the first part of the writing class or our writing lesson that we had. Now just to remind you of the objectives that we talked about first, we have here to compare between handwriting and printing, state the characteristics of each type, scan for information and topic sentences, give a personal point of view about advertising at school, differentiate between types of essays, organize ideas to write a new essay, and today we will inshallah write a persuasive essay. So basically we have finished the first three steps. We are going to go back and we are going to just rearrange and organize our thoughts about the lesson today. So just to talk about what we had before, now we started with the question here. Do you enjoy writing by hand? Why or why not? And I also discussed and asked you this question. Do you think handwriting is a useful skill? Why or why not? So we have here the text in the book in the writing lesson, which is handwriting obsolete? And then we had here the comparison in the text between the two types. You can see that there was a kind of comparison between handwriting and also we have here typing. So at the very end of the topic, what did we do? We answered, of course, the questions one by one, and we had the thesis statement or the thesis sentence in each paragraph. We underlined it. We had the most important idea in each paragraph, and at the very end, we had the conclusion. Now, the writer is in favor of technological advances that allow us to do things efficiently, but he is also keen to preserve the skill of writing by hand without the help of a device as a means of self-sufficiency and independence, which is not reliant on machines. So this is what we have here. This is the basic topic, and after we had finished the paragraph here, we had the kind of summary that we passed by, and we moved on to the question, which is what are some of the differences between this text and an expository essay. Now, if you do remember in the previous unit, we did have the expository essay, and here just to remind you that we showed the difference between the two types of essays. So what is an expository essay? We read yesterday that the objective statements, thesis, and information that has been researched and evidenced, comments and examples made by others, quotes, exchanges, and arguments from different sources. So this is the expository. But we have what we are going to do today, which is the persuasive essay, like the text that we have in the book. The thesis statement and a title that will attract readers, exploit controversy, avoid controversy, consider different views, use of questions, objections to your arguments or viewpoints, and ways to overcome them. Focus on getting your reader to agree with you. Now, I can summarize all of what we have here into 2 points. Now here you can see that that's what we did before, which is the expository essay. You can see that we talked about it, that it is explanatory, it is also descriptive, and it is describing. So when you are writing an expository, you are describing something or you are giving some kind of explaining for it. But what we are going to do now is the other type, which is the persuasive essay. Now, in the persuasive essay, there are personal arguments. You are going to make it personal. And we have here, it considers different points of views. So you can see that there is a very short summary for the both types that we have here. Now, moving on, we said that we are going to start with the persuasive essay. It is now your turn on page number 77. And actually, we said yesterday that we are going to link between the ideas that we have in our lessons. So you can see that we have in the part, which is the reading part, that we mentioned something about advertisements at schools. So we're going to take this idea, we are going to link, and here we have our instructions that we did read yesterday. Now we are going to work together. Yesterday I asked you to prepare. We are going to work together to write a complete essay. Now first, we have here to decide whether or not you support advertising in schools. Think about reasons why advertising in schools is a good or bad idea and use an organizer to write down your ideas. Now, this is what I told you yesterday, and we have here, I just gave you an idea that we are going to actually write a letter. Now, this letter is to your local newspaper about the topic, which is advertisements at schools. So we have here also this graph, if you remember. Now, we said that you can use some kind of notes. And we have here, we can use different types of graphs. Now, this is just an example of one. And you can see that I wrote in the middle, advertising in schools is or is not a good idea. So we're going to start basically now. Now, I'm going to start step by step. What are we going to do? First of all, we have here, you have to know that you are going to go step by step. And it is something normal to start from the first step until you reach the top. So we are going to start together with the very first question, which is, do you support advertising at school? Why or why not? So now, if you did not prepare, it is now a time to just decide, are you with or with not the topic or the issue of advertising at school? Now, once you have decided, and it is a personal point of view, so you can say yes or no, we come to the reasons why advertising in schools is a good or a bad idea. So if you say yes, you are with the idea, you are going to show your reasons why it is a good idea. And if you have another point of view, you are going to show also why. Now we are going to move on. We are going to think about reasons why advertising in schools is a good or bad idea. Use an organizer to write down your ideas. So it is very normal to feel that you are mixed with all these ideas in your head. So the basic thing is to organize your ideas from the very start. Now, you do know that you are with or against the idea of advertisements at school. Now you are going to begin with organizing. So how are we going to organize? We are going to use notes. And also we are going to use this kind of graph that we have here, like what we mentioned yesterday. So to make it easier for you, we do not want to get confused. We want everything to be arranged. I am going to go back to this graph here, and we are going to write different parts. Now, when I say that I have advertising in school is or is not a good idea, for whom? So who are the people who are connected to school, and what is the relationship with advertisements? So we're going to start, first of all, basically with school in general. And when I say school, I mean even the staff, the teachers, the principal, and everyone who is in the environment. And of course, we do have someone who is very important, who is the student. So either male or female, they are very connected to the matter of advertising at school. And also a very important part is advertisers. Now we have here these advertisers, they are trying to send these messages and to advertise for projects. So is it a good place? Is it suitable at school or not? Now, looking at the school, the student, and the advertisers here, and when we think about them, there is something also connected to them, which is, in general, we have here the society. So we are a part of a society, and we are affecting the society, so we are going to also add something about them. Now, once I have the basic parts that we have here, I can organize the thoughts and I can start one by one here. Now, when we just here see and connect between the notes that I'm going to think about or going to write, now you can use very simple notes, you can use the sticky notes, or you can just use a notebook. You can use different pages for it, but put in mind that you have to arrange and organize your thoughts one by one. So I'm going to start here and show you. Now we have here school. When I think about school here and advertising, there are words that can come in mind. Now we have, for example, when I think about school, I have a very important word here, which is the word interaction. Now there is always the process of interaction at school, between the students, and between each other, of course, and between the people outside school. Now we can see also there are kinds of interaction between the school and advertisers, or the society in general. Also, another word that is related to school, we can see that we have here help. Now, schools, yes, they do need some help. Now, one of the help that they need is, of course, a very important issue, which is money. Now, I'm connecting also help and money with the fact or the matter about school. Also, we have here something very important. Now, what is the role of schools in general? What do they do? Now, we know that schools, they build something and they prepare. Now, I'm going to leave it for you just to think, what do I mean by it? What do I mean by building and preparing? Now, once I have thought about school, you don't have to write many notes, but put in mind that you have just put these words to organize your ideas. Now, moving on to the student. Now, a very important part here that we are talking about the student, him or herself. Now, we do have feelings connected here. What are the kind of feelings? I am going to relate these feelings with the matter of advertisement at school. So we are going to just relate what kind of feelings do we have. Now, when there are advertisements at school, a student may feel important, so there is the feeling of importance. And we can also have the feeling of responsibility. So they are old enough to be advertised, and there is something about responsibility connected to it. Also, we can see that there is a very important word here, which is confidence. Now, a lot of students, they may feel confident about themselves when they feel that they are advertised and they have this kind of importance. Now, I also collected a few points about students here. I have the third part, which is the advertisers. Now, in this idea, we have here something about the advertisers and the students. Now, they do not, or some advertisers, they are not aware that they do help build characters, the characteristics of these students when they feel that they are important, they are confident, and they are reliant. Also, I can connect with giving and choosing. So they can give, when they are advertised, the students will give their opinions about these advertisements, and at the same time they will be able to choose, which of course affects the advertisers. Now, I have connected between the student and the advertisers. We can also say that there is a very important thing that is work. Now, you can see that everyone is working here, especially the advertisers, but even the students, even the school itself, and this work is, of course, mainly for the society. There is something also, we can say that the advertisers themselves, we have here, they are aware of different ages. Now, they know who they are dealing with. They know if these advertisements are good enough or are they suitable for these students or not. Now, all of these points, they are, of course, connected very much to business. So this is a word that I can have in mind. And also, I can say that business, of course, affects the economy. Now, the economy here, it affects the society in general and, of course, the environment. And we have here a very important word, which is the word opportunities. Now, of course, when there are advertisements and people are working, they are mainly having more opportunities and they are giving each other, the student or the school itself is giving an opportunity for the advertisers. The advertisers are giving opportunities for the students, and all of us are affecting the society. Now, these are just examples of words that I can use here. Now, we can see that we can organize these thoughts, as I said, very simply here. You can see that I wrote here the school. I had the word interaction, helped financially, prepare the new generation and build a better society. Now, talking about the students, we have here to gain importance and responsibility. Confidence, of course, is the result. The ability to choose and give opinions. Guides and helps build characters. The advertisers get a chance to work, and they are aware of different members of the society and serve different ages. So even though you are still writing your notes here and putting your graph together, you can and you can also just take out any kind of idea that you feel that it is suitable or unsuitable. After that, we have here the last part, which is the society. The business is better, which helps economy and opens new opportunities. Now we have all my ideas here together in this kind of graph. So here we have the view in general. What can we say about it? We are going to put my view and all these ideas that I just said, we are going to put them in just one essay. So in the book, they have asked us to write a letter to your local newspaper. We are going to imagine that we are writing this letter to a local newspaper about this topic, trying to convince the reader that your view is correct. So you may be agreeing with me on my point of view, or you have another point. It depends on your opinion. Now, just to imagine that we are going to write this kind of letter, we have here a kind of sample that is mentioned in the book. Now, you can see from the very start that we have here, dear editor, we have here some parts. Now, just to make sure that we are aware of what are the basic parts in a letter, we have here, of course, first of all, we're going to start with the salutation. We have also the introduction. And then we have the body of the letter, what I'm going to talk about. And we have here the closing paragraph. And of course, at the very end, we have here the signature. And put in mind that I talked about the school, the student, the advertiser, and the society. So in the body, I have basically 4 main ideas. So when you think about it, I have 1, I have 4, and I have 1 here, so which means that I have completely 6 paragraphs to write. So we're going to see what we are going to do together, but before we are going to start with the writing corner. Now, just to focus, what are the tips that they are giving us in the writing corner? Now, when you write a letter to communicate your idea or your opinion and feelings on a controversial topic, now we're going to start with an appropriate greeting, for example, dear editor, dear sir or ma'am, dear Mr. Jones, for example, if you want to name. We are going to state clearly the reason why you are writing and give your general opinion on the topic. You have to be very clear. State your reasons for your opinion by giving reasons and examples. You do have to try to combine and give something personal, but at the same thing, you are relating and giving examples. Organize your reasons in clear paragraphs. So you see that I have already divided my paragraphs. Now in these paragraphs, each paragraph should start with a sentence that gives the main reason, which is the topic sentence. The paragraph should then be developed in such a way that you support the topic sentence with more details and examples. Use connectors to list your main reasons. For example, you can use moreover, in addition, additionally, what's more, last but not least, and so on. So these are just examples that you can add. These are phrases that connect your ideas together. To express your opinion, use phrases such as, in my opinion, from my point of view, as far as I'm concerned, I strongly believe that. So we can use these phrases as well, just to use the personal effect that I want in my essay. Ask yourself what objections your readers might have to your ideas. Now, put in mind that there are going to be people that object and disagree with your idea. And use phrases to express a general opinion, such as, most people think that, everyone knows that, most people support, oppose the idea. So here we are giving a personal idea or a personal opinion and also a general opinion. Select features and benefits that you can present to overcome these objections. Do not forget to write a conclusion. So you have seen that I have prepared my part, which is the conclusion here. Now, carefully going back to your initial thesis statement and summarizing your facts, arguments, use phrases such as to sum up, in conclusion, to conclude, and so on. So here you can see that there has to be a conclusion that covers everything that was mentioned before. Now, at the very end, I can also give you my personal advice, which is to use the checklist that we have used in the writing lessons before, just to make sure that you are on track, you have your ideas, the title, the spelling, the grammar, the punctuation, and so on. Now I'm going to show you my complete essay here. We have discussed the details, all the details that you have. We have the complete letter, as you can see, and also here to show you that we have here in the blue highlights the thesis or the topic sentence for each part. Now we are going to read these parts one by one. I'm going to start from the very beginning. Now this is the very beginning or the start. We have here, dear editor, since you published an article about the rights and wrongs of advertising in schools, we have discussed as members of the school environment. Some are against it, but I wouldn't judge quickly if I were them. So I decided to write to you. I would rather give you my opinion personally on why I think it has a positive effect on us. Now you can see here that I have applied a lot of things. You can see that we have here I and personally, which gives the personal opinion here. I also used something else, which is some are against, which gives us the general opinion as we were asked. We also have something about so, which means that we have here connectors. And we do have, since you published an article about the rights and wrongs of advertising in schools, we have discussed. You can see that even here in this essay, I am using grammar. Now, this is a very useful part or useful way to apply your grammar lessons and even the vocabulary, and you can just practice everything that you have learned. Now, moving on to our second, we have here, first of all, most people think that advertisements are completely a business issue that has only marketing aims. Even if that is true, there are lots of advantages. The economy of the whole country rises from marketing and benefits from it, which helps giving more opportunities to everyone. So you can see that the first paragraph was an introduction. We are starting with the first idea, which is what you have here. It is about the society in general. So it doesn't have to be as the same order that I have in the graph, as long as you have the organized thoughts in your head. Now you can see that I also here applied, first of all, which is a phrase to just link together, or we have here to connect. Now most people think, which gives a general opinion as well. We have here, even if that is true, there are lots of advantages. Now you can see that we have also grammar in this part. Moreover, advertisers will acknowledge the needs of the educational environment when they become more aware of students' needs who are also members of the society. They will work harder on students' interests. Additionally, they will get a chance to work with schools to make them better places and serve different ages. So you can see that there are lots of points that I mentioned before that are related to advertisers. Now here we have moreover and additionally, which are connectors. We have also another long paragraph here. Now, just to read it together, we have here, I strongly believe that advertising helps students in many ways. So the longest paragraph that I have in my essay is about the most important part, which is the student. Even if they are only students, they may be aware of important matters. Advertisements are not only about brands, they can be sophisticated and useful. If students see advertisements around them about toothpaste, for example, they will be encouraged to take care of their dental health. In addition, some students might think about the ad they are seeing and how to make it more attractive, which arouses creativity and innovation. It might even help them determine spontaneously what they wish to do in their future. Moreover, if students see public advertisements at school, they will sense that they are treated as individuals and gain confidence and feel important. They might gain the ability to choose and express opinions when they see different ads around them. I agree that there are students who blow their money away quickly, yet others are wise enough to control their spending. Now, as we mentioned before, I have put my thoughts here in the paragraph, and you can see that you do not have to write the same length for all paragraphs. And I did use examples here to prove my thought. Now, also here we can see that we have the personal opinion, as we mentioned. We have also, in addition and moreover, as connectors. I used vocabulary when I used brands, sophisticated and spontaneously, which we have learned in Unit 5. We have also blow their money away, which is a real talk phrase that we have learned in the conversation. And of course, we have here, even if they are only students, which is a part of our grammar lesson. Now you can see that everything is combined together. The very end we have here, we must not forget how schools are affected as well. Schools need to be supported financially to become a better society and give more to their students. Interaction is an important part between all members of the society inside and outside the school walls. In conclusion, wherever we are, advertisements is a part of our daily lives or everyday lives. Although not all people are aware, but we really should be more attentive and participate in whatever we are exposed to every day. If we give advertisement more attention, we will reach better goals for the sake of our whole community. Thank you for your concern, my regards, and my signature. So here also in these last parts we have here the connectors that I mentioned. We have also vocabulary. You can see that we have here also the grammar points that we mentioned. And at the very end of my paragraph, I have the complete essay all in one. So we have written our essay together. We collected our thoughts. So just to summarize what we have done in our lesson, we discussed writing in general, the topic. So either it is handwriting or typing. We read and researched in our last lesson. We enumerated the types, and of course we can see that the thoughts that we have collected from the last lesson have affected our thoughts now. We highlighted characteristics and organized writing steps, so that's why at the very end, when we have our notes that we are using here, just to put in mind that actually we are handwriting here and we are applying what we have learned in our lesson. And after that, we typed the lesson or the essay together. Now we have used all the ideas that we have in our lesson. This is our lesson for the day. We have finished with our writing lesson, and tomorrow, inshallah, we are going to start with the form, meaning, and function. So do your writing, and I'm sure that your writing will be even better than mine.